Hi everyone, I thought it was time that I did another video just covering the development work that I've been doing on the Geo LED Mini Marquee kits. Since the beginning of the year, I've been working on a new version of the board and I haven't really covered the details of it. We're now at the point where we're a lot more power efficient and we can power it directly from the port of the Neo Geo. So it's running off 5 volt and we no longer need to find 12 volt from the power supply or anything else. If you have your existing ELA cable, just plug straight in, no need to worry. I've checked that it's more than capable of coping with this, and tested on this particular system for a few weeks with no trouble whatsoever. So if we quickly look at the new board, we're now running off an 18 mega chip rather than a complete Arduino Nano. And this allows me to be a lot more power efficient. We're using a low dropout regulator, so even though it's powered from a stable 5 volt source, if there are any problems, this will keep the voltage within the specs of the Arduino, and also the capacitors help to keep things nice and smooth. We also have a resettable fuse, so if there are any problems, if it goes over 500 milliamps, it will basically switch things off rather than cause any damage. We're still using the same Darlington array, and I've just tidied things up to make things a little bit simpler. But what I've also done is it's now always comes as a 6 slot, so it will always have all 6 of the connectors on there, and we can see JP1 and JP2. So without any solder on the boards, it will think that it's a 6 slot unit and run the test through all 6 lights. If you have a 2 slot or a 4 slot, we can solder those jumpers out. So if we do JP4, it will behave as a 4 slot. If we do JP1, it will behave as a 2 slot. The only real difference is it doesn't run through all 6 panels when you're switching it on, so it turns on a lot quicker. Same as when you run through the test, it won't go through panels that aren't near. So it just keeps things as quick as possible. So like I said at the beginning, we're running on a lot more efficient electronics now. So we can power the unit direct from the ELA port of the Neo Geo. And I've tested this and it doesn't cause any problems whatsoever. The Neo Geo is made with a multi-layer board. So there's a 5 volt and a ground plane inside. So it's not like when it's powering this port, it needs to run through little tiny traces, and it works fine. So you can use your existing cable or you can use one that I will provide, and we're now using the correct GST connectors so that everything matches up to how it was originally made. So the next thing is I've now made credit boards. So this is an original Neo Geo credit board with one of my own cables, and these will be added to the shop very soon. But you can use the original cables if you have them. And this is my version of the credit board, using Arduino again on the back, original JST connectors, and it's just a direct compatible unit that plugs into the cables and is on the same footprint. So they're totally swappable, and they've been tested with 1 and 2, new one and old one, which we'll see in a little bit. Okay, let's power this on. So the board runs through its self-test and then goes to whatever panel it's told to by the Neo Geo. The credit board is on 0 at the moment. So if you want to test that the panel is working okay, just take your cartridges out or press the service button. You'll get to the crosshatch pattern. And then if we press player 1 start, we can cycle through the test modes. And then on this test mode, it cycles through the EL panels. So we can see the system is counting up through the panels just there. So that's the first thing that you need to do to test that everything is working okay. And then on the credit boards, we have LED 1 and LED 2. and we can see that the credit board is counting up as it should do. So if we want to just make sure that things are working a little bit more, we can just press player 1 again, and we'll see that it will stay on that panel until we go back, and then it will carry on. So while this is counting up, I'm just going to swap that out. So if we put the original Neo Geo one back on, that's counting up in exactly the same way. And then if we connect up to the second credit, we can see that both of them are working just fine. So all I need to do now is just find the right suppliers for the display, and I will be adding the credit boards and the credit cables onto the shop, and obviously everything else is just the same as it was before. So thank you for looking at the new boards and the credit boards that I'm doing. New panels are on the way, and they should be within the next week or so. So there shouldn't really be any disruption to the supply. We're now working on uprights 2 and 4 slot as normal. Big red 6 slot wide for the US, and I've now had confirmation that it works in the 2 slot goldies, so that's on the shop now. And I've also done a couple of low boys which have gone to Australia, although I haven't had the pictures back on those yet. So they're working in most of the US and UK and Europe cabinets that are out there. If anybody has got any of the Neo style, I'd love to be able to try the systems out in there. So if you have a Neo style cabinet or any of the Japanese style cabinets and you want to get the mini marquees working, please get in touch and we'll see about a test unit so that you can help me test things out. So thank you for looking. Thank you everybody for buying the kits. I've sold another 120 of the panels since Christmas, so I'm really pleased with that. And like I say, we've got another 120 panels on order, so we will see how those go. If anybody can tell me good forums besides Clov and Neo-Geo, so that I can get more people to know about these, that would be great. So I think that's it. So thank you for looking, and thank you for buying, and I'll see you all again soon.